Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining us this evening. Our special guest, our amazing guest is Miss Crystal Parker Polk, entrepreneur, empowerment speaker, and owner of Crystal P Official Online Boutique. Welcome, Crystal.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I am doing amazing. Thank you. Glad to be on today.
I'm glad to have you. So let's just get this thing started. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and your business?
Okay, great. So, my name is Crystal Parker Polk. I am originally from Dallas, Texas, and I am the mother. I'm a wife, one. I am a believer. Well, let me start over. I'm a believer, one. I'm a wife, two, and I'm a mother of three. I am also in corporate America. I'm in the brokering business. So, my background is logistics. But also, I have a passion for fashion. So I have an online brand. I like to call it a brand. So I do fashion influencing. And what I do is on my spare time, which is mostly a priority at this point because it's kind of taken off a little faster than I thought it would. I brand myself and I influence fashion, building the confidence level of women. And I also serve on women's empowerment panels, which I use my fashion influence for the confidence. And then I also speak on women empowerment panels.
That's awesome. So, what made you decide to get into fashion?
So, fashion has always been a passion for me. Growing up a little girl, I grew up a pastor's child, so a PK, they would call it.
Mhm.
So, growing up in the platform on the spiritual side, in church, my aunts, my grandmothers, they all would get their hats made, they would get their clothes designed. And so, quite naturally, sitting on the sideline watching, this was almost like I would call it New York Fashion Week. And so,
Okay.
just watching the hats and getting ready for church on Sundays has always been like, a runway show pretty much. And so it built me, I noticed the confidence that it built in myself. And I
Mhm.
would also on the weekends go to my father's home so every other weekend. So basically, like a co-parenting, co-grandparenting situation where I would go to my father's home, and when I would go, my aunt, she sewed. And so she taught me how to sew clothes. And I would also sit on her floor, on her living room floor. And at that time, she called it a divan. It was also, I would sit on the divan and lay out all of my paper dolls. And I would just, it was like I would thrive off of it. And it was like a little natural high off of mix and matching clothes. And so I realized that that was my passion. And then as I got older, I would think back to times when I was younger, being in the home with women. My cousin, she would take me and we would get Easter stuff, and I had to have like a bag, and I had to have like the shoes to match and things like that. And that's the typical little girl, but I more so, it just really made me feel better. And I realized that it built my confidence level. And as a woman now, looking back and reflecting on that, that's what I like to pour into others. And so it became my passion. I was working for the state of Texas at the time, and that I felt that I needed to follow this passion. And I was going to be laid off. And so I took my 401, and God really positioned me to, have favor with people that had been in the business, that
Mhm.
were not afraid to share with me. Um, the things that they knew about the business, and they did. And once I found it out, I hit the ground running, and I took my 401. I opened up, a small little boutique area in my brother's salon because my brother is a hairstylist. And I took off from there. And after that, it was just like, I didn't just want to do it. It was like it was my passion to do it. So
Mhm.
I would always get complimented, on how I dressed, or, I would always get asked if, hey, do you mind styling? Do you do styling on the side? And from there, it just took off. And, I followed it. I had to stop off in a couple years after I opened my second location because life happened. And
Right.
had to stop and press pause. And then after that, I was able to revamp and go back to the basics. And a year ago today, I actually started Crystal P Official and revamped everything. And it took off, it took off in the right direction.
Now you went from brick and mortar to online.
Yes,
That's a significant cut in expenses.
yes.
So what do you think is the significant difference other than expenses
So,
that's at your company?
okay, so I'll tell you, the difference there is the fact that, you have to, when you know the market, you have to learn the market. And
Mhm,
at the time, brick and mortar was the way to go because
mhm,
competition in this particular game wasn't as, how could I say this? It wasn't as familiar as it is now. Like everyone
mhm,
is actually into fashion and following this passion now. So now that that is happening, it kind of waters down this industry and you
mhm,
find your place. And so, as we know in business, you have to know which way to go with things and not be prideful and say, okay, this is the best way for me to go right now. And
mhm,
that's what I did. I said, you know what I'm saying? I think instead of having all of that capital, I would rather bring all the money in and I'd rather go online and produce a clientele base again. And then if life happens to where, that door opens, opportunity opens to, have a location again, I will. But it is just not the route that I would like to go because I'm actually enjoying the time. Um,
mhm.
actually enjoying, the revenue that's coming in without having to put it out. And then the maturity level of where I am now and where I was then, it's more so that, hey, you have to know your position. And my position is if I can't own the building, I don't want to pay anyone for a building. So that's kind of my position in life now is owning and investing and not, if I'm renting a space, I'm not investing. I'm actually giving money to someone else. So life has taught me now to make wiser decisions. And that's where I am now.
That's good. That's investment not only in your company but in your future.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So when you look at some of the challenges you've had in this industry, what have you done? What has been your greatest challenge, and what did you do to overcome it to make your business successful?
Wow, some of the greatest challenges that I have faced is just some personal hardships. Just going from being a mother, going through a divorce, and also life, deaths to my immediate family members, trials and tribulations, just consequences from decisions that I made being younger. Yeah, I call
Mhm,
it young, not listening. So at that time, I was basically a fool with money. And I also have learned that only what you do for Christ will last
right.
because I'm a believer. And so when you're operating and you're on your own and you have no covering, it definitely leaves the door open for a lot of things to come in for your life to be compromised. And so learning that, those going through those things, they made me, it built me for who I am. And so
Mhm,
I'm able to look at life from a different scope. And with that said, I've been able to now revamp my business and humble myself in a way to where I'm able to pour into others the way I was supposed to the first time. So
right.
I didn't remove my gift of fashion and my passion for it. He just sat me down and said, I want you to understand that, I'm in control and I'm the source behind, and I'm the source and the resource behind the things that I've given you. And I want the glory. I want to be glorified through this. And so that's what happened. Those were the things, the hardships that I faced. My mother has a drug addiction I still deal with. I was a single mother of two children, divorced, went through, now I'm remarried and I have another child. So I have three children. And so God restored. I just had to realign my life with
Right.
the purpose that God had for me.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Mhm.
Now, I'm a big fan of each one, teach one, and getting knowledge and sharing knowledge. I'm total supportive of small business individuals. Did
Mhm.
you have a great mentor to get you started, or did you just jump in on your own and kind of filled it out as you went along?
I'm going to be honest with you. I did not have a great mentor. My mentor was my family, the foundation, and how I was raised. At the time that I got into the clothing industry, what happened is I think, it was harder for me to get what I needed from, I would be honest and say, from Black women. I
Mhm.
don't know if it was more so like a threat. I don't know if it was more so like an intimidation. I'm not sure because I don't look at it like that. But it was hard for me to get the information that I needed from the women that were in the business at the time. So
Mhm.
have that mentorship. I had trial and error, and I
Right.
had lead me through it. And I'm a real private person when it comes to certain things. So I didn't believe it. I've always been taught like you don't share anything until you do it because you give the devil room to come in to intercept what you're trying to do. Um,
Right.
what I did, I just trusted God, and He favored me and put people in my path to assist
Mhm.
with going through to follow His purpose on this journey.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So now, young people who may or may not see this video or who may approach you and say, how do I get into this business? What do I need to do? What would you advise them?
What I would advise any young individual that will want to get into this business, I would tell them to take their time to know their why, know the why behind what you are doing, know why you're doing it. To understand your purpose. A lot of times we don't understand our purpose. We want to do something because we see it, but we don't
Mhm.
know why we're even doing it. So I understood that my purpose is to influence and build the confidence of other women. When someone compliments me and says, I really like that. I love your confidence and how you take pictures. I feel better. I see women posing and taking pictures that told me once before, oh, I hate taking pictures. And
Mhm.
I don't see that as, oh, she's trying to be like me. I see that as, oh, her confidence is built. If I can do it, she can too. And so
Right.
that is what I would tell. That's because I understand my why in this. So
Mhm.
when I have individuals that approach me and say, Crystal, I want to get into the business. I want to get my own boutique. I want to get into fashion. I tell them, take your time, understand the why behind what you're doing. And if you understand your why, then it would make it so much easier for you to follow it because you will become passionate about it. So I have become passionate about what I'm doing. Like today, I had a very eventful day. So I've done a photo shoot 20 minutes before this interview.
Mhm.
I put my dinner on before now. I had to go to the nail shop, and an event happened there, and I had to go into my mode of praying for someone, and my photo shoot was delayed. But the reason why it was so easy for me to flow through that is because it's my passion and I love what I do. And so God opens the door for me to move and navigate throughout my day because I'm following what I love to do. So that's because I understand my why behind it. So I just tell any young individual, follow your purpose. It is okay if you mess up. It's okay if you don't get it right. Just get back up and keep trying it. And
Mhm.
I also believe that your vibe attracts your tribe. If you have a good if you have a good attitude, people will follow you. They will support you. If you're patient, if you have great customer service, you have to understand that there's a lot of branches that comes from the root of what you would like to do. It's
Mhm.
not just putting on some clothes and looking good. You know what I mean?
Right.
Lot behind it. So I would just tell anyone, be patient with the process, understand your why, and go for it. Mash the gas. It can be done. If I can do it twice, they can too.
But I also hear in everything that you said from the moment we started this interview, you keep God in the mix.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know that's who's by your side every step in the way. Good, bad, failure. That's who you've had in the mix. And I think that's if you're a religious person or not a religious person, I think that's an important aspect to
Yes,
keep something in your life that balances you and that you know that you can go to in times of trouble and believe in. I think that's very important from my perspective.
I don't. I mean, I don't just say it because it's the right thing to say. Because my grandmother was a pastor. Because my uncles are pastors. I don't preach. I don't say that because of that.
Hmm.
Why I say? God so much is because he has brought me through so many things when it was no one to get me through. And because of that, he made sure that I can only say it was him. He
Mhm.
made sure that I was rejected in certain situations so that I can tell the goodness of him and his glory. Um, not, I mean, it's just so much. It's countless times that God has come through for me, and I know that it was just me and him.
Right.
What it was. And so being so young and saying that you don't have to be religious, you just need to be spiritual. You have to be led by your spirit. And that is what got me where I am. It's my foundation. I definitely give all credit to the women in my family that prayed at night, that prayed in the morning, you know, over in the midnight hour, all of those things. I'm always going to be a part of that. But my life, what I teach my children is that God does come first, because that's all that's ever had me when I didn't have myself. And so I couldn't dare give it, use any platform to say it's me or it's
Mhm.
else. It's not, I mean, no one, my mom, my dad, no one. I've never had that. So it's only been God. And I think God just chose me in particular to be one of those ones, that billboard for him. Despite of how the things that when I mess up, he still says, you better go say it was me. If you
Yeah.
gotta try again. And I learned that lesson. So I give all, and it's not, I try not to be this, you know, holier than thou person, because that's not me. I'm a very outgoing, fun person. But if you know me, you know she gonna get a prayer through, and she gonna probably drop some jewels in your life before you walk away from her. And that's
Yeah.
what I come to do.
So let's switch over to your business. I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
And so before I share, this is what when you sent me your information and I started looking at it, this is what I saw. And looking at your website, I saw flirty, I saw fun, I saw bold and beautiful, I saw colorful, I saw sexy. But for me, the most important one was comfortable. So
Wow.
when I look at your when I look at your post and I see it and I'm like, oh my God, this is just awesome on what she's doing.
Wow.
What is your ideal client? When you get with that client, do you look at their personality to start dressing them, or do you just go for what you see? And I'm going to share with our viewers and go to the top and just show some of the things that I saw. I just saw a whole collection of personalities. What fits your personality? How do you describe your brand?
So, you know, I describe my brand as wow. This is the thing. When I started Crystal P Official, that was my revamp. And I said, this time I wanted to be my truth. That's my truth. Every picture that you're displaying is how I feel. The shoot I had today was very fun. Um, when I take those pictures, my mind is totally different space. My mind is in on vacation on a beach. Sometimes it's in offices. It's just in so many different places. And so what I display is crystal. That's my truth. Fun, outgoing. Just, and I want people to pick that up. And whoever picks it up and purchases something, you're purchasing a part of me. That's my brand. So every single piece that I get, it is my brand, what I would wear, what I shop. I would not sell anything that I would not wear. And so when I see women walking around and they purchase and they have on my items, they're displaying a part of me, because I'm finally walking in my truth. I used to do it for people to be happy. And this time I reversed it and said, you gonna make yourself happy. And this is your passion, and God's gonna give you the platform, and anyone that comes to you will see a part of what God did. And so that's how I display myself in those pictures. Each picture says something totally different.
Right. It's an absolutely amazing collection. And I like the way you are your own model. So people can see your spirit in the collections that you've put up.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a part of branding myself this time, is, you know, just saying this is my truth. You know, everyone has their truth. I want to display how I feel, what I want to wear, and I want people to pick it up and feel the same thing I feel. So I have
Right.
lot of ladies from all different places. This last year, Crystal P Official, actually, my daughter has a map. She keeps every time we ship somewhere else. We've shipped all over the world this last year and during COVID. And God has really favored my business this year. And so it really just gave me so much encouragement to see women feeling confident in what I'm actually giving them. And so it's just been, I mean, seeing the diverse side of it, seeing all the queens just put on something and feel good. And now when I shop and I'm looking for something, I think of people. I think like, this person, I know how she likes this, and I find a part of myself that likes it, and I get it. So
Right.
it's hustle for me. It's more so my passion, and it's from my heart.
Now, I know you use social media because I saw your Instagram and I saw your Facebook, but are you totally relying on that to be your marketing tool, or in this business, do you need other connections and networks to get your name out there?
Number one key, what I've learned from having this foundation of business is you have marketing. That's the number one key. Social media has definitely played a huge part, at least 80% of that. The other 20% is your attitude, your personality, and how you brand yourself for someone to come back to you, for that word of mouth. Before there was a Facebook or there was an Instagram, we had MySpace, and it was more so how you branded yourself through your word of mouth, so we didn't have this platform like we do now. And I would say I always go back to that, and I ask myself daily, if Instagram shut down today, if Facebook shut down today, how would you say who you are? So
Hmm.
that's why I have my website, and I send out marketing through there so that individuals can see, oh, she has new arrivals, oh, she has this, so that I'm not completely dependent on social media. However, I will say you definitely need it in this business because people are on their phones day and night. I'm one of those people that stay up to like 4 in the morning. So when I'm up in the morning, I'm actually scrolling. So anytime I get on social media, I ask myself, what are you investing? So I make sure I'm sharing a picture that has an item that needs to be
Hmm.
sold. So people may say, like, my family always tells me, girl, every time I log on, all I see is you. And I say, that's what I want to hear. That's what you need to see, because this is what we're supposed to do. I'm never not working. If I'm in the car, I'm posting a picture. When I wake up, let me post a picture. If I'm working, because I work from home, let me post a picture every 3 hours. You have to, because you got to stay on people's mind.
So every 3 hours is a lot.
It
That
is.
is a lot. How do you find time to decompress, breathe, and say, okay, now it's family time?
Okay.
When do you fit that in if you're doing this every 3 hours? When do you sleep?
Listen, it is very hard. You got to have boundaries. You got to be disciplined. So what I do is I try to stay in position. That's the key. If you stay in position, you don't let a lot of distractions come in to distract you from what your goals are. So today is Sunday. When I finish with this interview, my family and I are going to go have dinner. We were going to cook. And so right before I was putting on dinner, my husband accidentally took out the wrong meat. So we,
Uh,
hey, I'll tell you what, I said I'll buy dinner since you guys have been so patient with me today. You got a reason with your family. So I said, you know what, I'll just go buy dinner. So we'll go do that, because Sundays is a day that I completely shut down. I normally don't shoot on Sundays, but
right.
work schedule is more hectic. I've had to start moving my shoots until Sundays to prepare the week for my looks.
Mhm.
So with that said, I have a 5-year-old. I have an 18-year-old who's in basketball, and then I have a college student who's graduating from college in about a month from now. Um,
Congratulations.
yeah, thank you. And so, with that said, it's like, I mean, it's busy. I mean, it's crazy. So, with that, I am just really blessed that I have a very patient family. Great communication is what you got to have. You got to communicate. So, I have a family calendar I put in there on my calendar, so it's shared with my entire family. Hey,
Mhm.
on this day, I got a hair appointment. On this day, I'm shooting. So they understand my language. And then my daughter, she is amazing. She packs out my orders for me. So I pay her every week to pack out my orders for me and prepare them for my customers, so that I can keep that going with good customer service. I'd like to ship priority.
Mhm.
So it's like you have to have balance and you have to communicate. And then you have to know how to say, okay, put the work up and go in there and talk to your husband. Put the work up, go play with your son. You have to have that discipline. You got to be able to read body language to understand when enough is enough. So I get to that point. I'm human there, so I have to understand that. And if I don't see that, then I'm a little bit too wild, going too crazy. So I try to stay in position to where I could read everybody's language. And then at the end of the night, what I do to bring myself to center, I pray. Once everybody is asleep, I walk through my house, I clean up because I have to keep that done so that I can wake up the next day and be ready for the next day's work. So if things are out of place, that throws me off and I'm putting it into tomorrow. So I'm always on go. I'm always pressing play. So before we go to bed, the house has got to be right because the next day I got to get my coffee. I got to be ready for my meetings with work. I have a lot of things to do. So then what I'll do, once everybody's asleep, I go in the bathroom. I have a big bathroom space and I meditate. I put myself to center. I always find a very good message. I'll normally just real fast, I'll Google Bishop Jakes for the week. And then I'll listen to a message and God will always give me the right word. And so while I'm in the shower, I listen to a word to pour into my spirit for me. Because if I can help myself, I can't help nobody else. And utilize that time. And then once I'm out the shower, I'm like a totally different person. Okay, now I can deliver, And I say to myself, put the phone down and rest. Get your rest. Like weekends, sometimes I'm like, I'm not leaving this house this weekend. I'm staying in. Today is the house day. Today is the day you got to do all the laundry. You got to get this done. So, just having balance, I tell any woman, and communication and not letting everybody come in. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's like, girl, I want to go do this. Girl, let's go out of town. Girl, let's go to the bar. Let's go have a happy hour. It's like, I can't do it. I got to have boundaries so I can say, if you do that, you're going to throw yourself off.
Right. So we have a question. If someone wanted to start an online fashion boutique, how much would they have to initially invest?
That's a good question. So I know most people think you have to have a lot. This my truth, this last time I had $500.
Wow.
And this time with $500. The reason why, it's not that I didn't have more. The reason why I started with $500 because I was saying, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. I don't feel like it. I don't feel like dealing with people this time. And so I said, you know what? My husband said, if you don't start, because he gave me the money before and was like, here, start. Go ahead and go order you some material. And I was like, it ain't the season. It's not the season. And then COVID happened and I was like, it's time. Go, hit go. And I said, I'm going to just use $500 and see how I feel about it.
Right.
$500, and that $500, it took me a long way. It took me a long way. It's all about your discipline and you knowing that why behind what you're doing. If you know why, that $500 is just like investing $1 million. If you know the why behind it, it's going to follow. But if you don't have that, you're going to use that $5 and you're not going to know what to do with it.
Right.
Yeah.
So I know you mentioned you sew your own things, your own items.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever use wholesale, or someone new starting in the business, would you suggest they use wholesale to buy bulk items to start off with? Or do you feel it's more personable using your own brand?
So I have my own brand, but I do use wholesalers. I don't sell my items right now. I used to want to have my own clothing line. To do my own and have it produced in wholesale, but that direction was not a direction I wanted to go in once I saw the time behind it and that it would take me longer to produce what I needed for my customer. So this is an Amazon world where everything is prime and you got to have it like this and like that. So right now is not the time for that unless you have a whole lot of money to put forth to produce that. So with that said, I actually deal with wholesale vendors and I pick my styles. I go to markets. I do things like that to pick what I know that I want to display. And then I purchase. So I purchase in bulk and then I shoot in it. I don't like to use stock photos because then my customers can't see what it looks like on me. So I have a lot of customers that say, well, I seen it on you, so I think I like it, or I may need to go up a size or this. But if they see it on Kim, they don't know Kim, and Kim may be a 0 and my customer may be a 16. So
Right.
I just like my own brand, branding it myself and wearing it myself to display, to help my customer with making decisions since I'm online and they can't try it on right away.
Right. Right. So what else would you, I'm
Yes.
sorry.
Sorry, to answer the question, wholesaling is the way to go if you're starting out. Yes, I would agree with that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in your field, do you find it easy to network with other people, or like, say for instance, if I was in the field and I couldn't go to something I had committed to, do you guys share, like, I can't do it, but I have a great person who can.
Oh
Do you
my.
find that in this industry, women or men are helping each other that way?
So I can't speak for others. I see a lot of networking with COVID. It's been amazing. There's a new platform, Clubhouse, that is amazing. A lot of network going there for our people. I'm loving it. I'm loving every bit of it because, for an example, it's like you go into a room and you're talking, and while you're talking, someone's on your site and they're looking at your site and they're shopping with you. I think that's amazing to see that sort of network because I love that. I have a lot of people that I network with that are in business. They sell shoes, they sell clothes, they sell hats. And I began to implement their items in my photo shoots, so that people are, and I tag them so that people are able to utilize and support their businesses as well. Also, I have a very good friend. She's in the same business that I'm in. We share a lot of information together. We shop looks together. Like I'll say, how are things going for you? Have you released spring yet? And she'll say, yeah, customers aren't really doing this yet. And we talk like that. And I love that. And we always brag about how we are able to collab and produce our looks together and say, hey, you should do this. This will look really cute on you. And
Mm-hmm.
do that. And then also she's in real estate, so there was a really big real estate platform she wasn't able to make it to because she's a busy mother as well, and she invited me, and she said I can't do it but my friend can, and she did, and it was amazing. And so that's the type of networking I like to do. I believe that I am my sister's keeper, and if there's a sister in the business, I love pushing them and saying, don't do that. That's not going to look right. I have a friend that's getting into the business now, and I just told her, you should create your own lane doing this. I called her at 2:00 in the morning. I got it. I know what you need to do. And she was like, what are you doing up? I said, you need to do this swimwear. Do it right now. Let's do a shoot and let's do this. She was like, okay, I'm with it. I said, that will be your own lane. I promise you, if you do it right now, this is what's going to happen. You're not going to look back. And so she's like, okay, let's order. So those are the type of things that I like to do because I believe, that we all can get it. Yeah, we.
That's absolutely true. So we have another question. The question says, do you offer a plus size for women?
So I do offer plus size. However, because of what I just said, I believe in pushing my sisters. So what I've done is collabed with another individual who I grew up with. She has a plus size boutique, and I'm helping her pick the styles. So what we're doing is we're shooting together, and hers is Remaj, is REMJ Fashion Boutique online. And if you look at some of my pages or my stories on Facebook or either Instagram, you'll see where I'm always tagging her. But she has some beautiful plus size pieces. And so what we're doing is collabing. So I can do the small through large and she could do the 1X through 3X. And so we go to market together. We push the same thing so that she can win in that lane. This was another thing I said, that's your lane. You need to do that, Kayla. Plus size is your lane. And she did. And the way that started is because when I started, she said, okay, what do you have for me? You don't have my size. So I started looking for pieces. But one thing I understand is, and with the plus size, it's so hard because plus size like to try their clothes on. And so if I have this on, you're going to be like, okay, she can't tell me nothing because I want to be able to try it on. It may not look like that on me. So now Kayla is displaying 1X through 3X. They see it on her and they're like, oh, okay, that'll look, I love it. And so she's gotten so much business from doing that. So it's Ramaj Fashion Boutique online.
So when we're off this live and it posts to Facebook, can you go into the comments and add that information so that people can, anyone who's interested can check her boutique out?
Absolutely. Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, what else would you like for us to know about your business?
I would like for everyone to know that my business is for everyone. I'm always here, not just for the fashion. I'm always here to sit on a panel to help encourage, to help push. I'm always here for advice. I do help and assist individuals with setting up their boutiques, giving them my expertise. So you can sign up you can book me for that. I also do styling. I style photo shoots. I have one lady that is a close friend of my family. She's retiring after 25 years from work. So we're doing a retirement shoot on April the 10th. So I'm excited about that. And also, you know, I'm just here to motivate, encourage people through life. You know, it's not just fashion. It's all about pushing and just to share my trials and tribulations and how I overcame it with individuals. So I could always be contacted for any of that.
Okay, so I'm going to put up your contact information here, and let me see. Let me move this over. I'll add it. I don't want to block you out. So here is Crystal's contact information if you're interested in following her online, on her Instagram, and on her Facebook. And I'll add that again into the comment sections when it's over. It has been such a pleasure speaking with you. I truly appreciate you coming online with us and telling us all about your business. And I saw a couple pieces that I think I'm gonna venture out and look at.
Great. That's awesome. That is amazing. And also, if you don't mind, can you give your information? I have my live on so that individuals that are in business can also follow you and support what you are doing. I think this is amazing. I love the platform. I love how professional everything was and the interview has been set up. So yes, I would love for you to share your information because my followers can actually hear you as well.
All right. They can follow me on Instagram or Facebook at Just a Little Business LLC. I have a business page. I have a business group. And if you get into contact with me, I'll definitely post your stuff to my site because I'm all about small business. I think there's enough out there for everyone to succeed. And if you want to come on the show, just contact me. We'll book a date and I'll put you on.
Great. Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great evening, Crystal. And next week, we won't be live. We'll come back April the 11th with Teresa Dennis and her business. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in, and we'll see you on April the 11th. Thank you so much.
Have a good one.
You too.